because the flowering is very good. So how do you take care of these tomatoes at this stage? You need to look at the macro elements which you're supposed to use and micro elements. So in this tomato plantation, as you look at it, the vegetative phase, the use of nitrogen has been achieved. If you look at the vegetative phase, the vegetation in this plant, it's enough to withstand this, to provide enough nutrition to this plant. So right now, since we are in flowering stage, you can look at the flower formation, very beautiful. The whole farm is yellow. If you look at everything, even we have a lot of fruits. You might not be seeing them, but we can check closer, like this plant here. You can see there is a lot of a lot of fruits. Here we have this plant has given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, plus more. We can see more just in this one plant here. So here at this stage, what you really need at the moment, out of the 3 macro elements, you need to apply potassium. At this time is when potassium is needed a lot. And you have also to know the functions of potassium in plants. Potassium, it strengthens the plant structure. That means when you are having these fruits, your fruits are going to be strong. When you take to the market, they will have better shelf life. So that's one of the role of potassium. Also potassium, it boosts the stress resistance. Now, like for example, right now, if the heat is too much, we are in March, and in March here in Somalia, we go up to 30 degrees centigrade. So we really have hot climate at the moment, and these plants will need to get that hot climate is one of the things we call abiotic stress. So abiotic stress can be achieved to get the resistance from the abiotic stress. You really need to provide your plants with enough potassium, and that potassium will help this plant to take enough nutrients like water, and then it will manage to fight the abiotic stress like heat. Also, when we talk about potassium, we are talking about improving the fruit quality. So this fruit quality, what are the aspects what you are looking for? If you look at these fruits here, when you take them to the market, because that's the end of our journey, taking this thing to the market so that it can be bought and be turned into money. That's our target. So the customers will want to see something appeasing. So when you put enough potassium on this plant, you realize that the potassium will help to boost the size of the fruit. You will have a very good fruit. It will boost the color. And for example, if you go to some market, you get some tomatoes which are big and they are red, they are very beautiful. You are attracted to buy. Also the taste, when you have enough potassium, you realize it will change. Especially you get some juicy, nice tasting tomatoes, and other fruits like even watermelon. When you put enough potassium, you will achieve the color and the taste. And also, out of all that, you say it also helps in shelf life of the plant, so that when you harvest this tomato today, you take it to the market, the person at the market will stay up to 2 or 3 days without getting the customer. If the customer comes after 1 week, will he get that product when it is still viable? Or you'll sell to the person and then after 2 or 3 days the person will throw because it couldn't be sold. So if you put enough potassium, you take to your customers in the market, they will be happy because this tomato with enough potassium, it can stay in the shelf for more than 5 days, 6 days, even sometimes 1 week up to 10 days. And that is what the customers over there want. When you are doing farming also, you have to consider your customers. I've talked about potassium. Now we also have micronutrients, and those micronutrients at this stage, the most important one we need, one is boron, calcium, zinc, magnesium. I think I've not forgotten forgotten any other, maybe I'll remind you another time in case I've forgotten. And you know the work of the macronutrients. Like for example, they help to reduce stunting, because without those macronutrients, we realize maybe there will be poor cell division, which will reduce the plant size. Sometimes you will not achieve a good stem, so you will get a weak cell wall structure, which will cause structural damage. And also those macronutrients, they help you to avoid abnormal flowering and poor fruit setting. When you talk about calcium, you know, like here in tomatoes, especially in this extremely hot climate, you realize most farmers, they cry about a condition which is called blossom end rot. I'm trying to look for a tomato which has blossom end rot. Maybe I've seen one here. I've seen one here. Aha. Aha. This is what we call blossom end rot. So for you not to get a lot of your tomatoes having this condition, actually in my farm at the moment I don't have this condition. It is just focal, one or two, but this is what we call blossom end rot. So for you to fight this, you need enough calcium in this plant, because it's the calcium which helps in this cell wall formation. So if you lack calcium in your soils, if you lack calcium in your plants, this one you'll have to get this. But since for us we have already corrected that, we don't have this in plenty. If you look at our fruiting, we don't have blossom end rot at all. Just one or two fruits. The other macro element is magnesium. You know, magnesium help in chlorophyll formation, and you realize chlorophyll is what aids the plant. Which the one which feeds the plant is chlorophyll. The green matter you see in this plant is chlorophyll. So if you lack magnesium, you realize that you will not have healthy leaves. Most of these leaves and the fruits will drop from the plant, and at the end of the day, you might end up not achieving this. So up to here, after checking on those micro elements, how do you apply them? In which form? So commercially, if you go to most agrovets, most of these things are sold either in liquid form or in powder form or in salt form. So like for example, calcium, you will find it in salt form. So how we apply them, mostly the commercially available ones, you either do spraying on the leaves, or sometimes you can mix with water and do fertigation, especially if you are using drip irrigation. You can as well apply it through drenching, whereby you mix with water and apply near the roots here, the root zone. Then the plant will absorb. So those are the three main ways of how we apply these macro and micronutrients to our plants. Up to there, thank you very much for taking time to watch our videos. For those who have not subscribed, kindly do so, because it's you people who make this channel to be what it is. Without you, we shall not be anywhere. Thank you very much.